Before we get started, please go over to Amazon.com and grab a copy of my book, Education and Justice. If you have an African-American son in public school, you need this book because I teach you the many ways that public schools mistreat African-American boys and what you can do to help your son. So go over there and get your copy immediately. Trump is doing exactly what I said he would do. He is doing precisely what I said in many, many videos, over and over and over again. And that is, he would come for black men. I told you that. He didn't hide it. He made it really clear. He spoke somewhat in coded language, but it was very obvious. Plus, I literally read Project 2025 and made many, many videos on it. So I knew he was coming and I warned black men. And so now it's happening. At first, it was all about deportation. And then things took a shift when Trump issued that executive order having to do with law enforcement. When he said that I am going to militarize, and he said he was going to unleash the police. And even before that, in a Detroit church, he was having a campaign rally, sitting and talking and sharing his heart. And he said, just as that rally was about to end, that most of the crime in America was being committed in the African-American community. Hey, family, do you believe in the work we're doing? Does our content speak to you? Do you appreciate our in-depth legal analysis and political commentary from an African-American perspective? Do you believe it matters to our community? Then don't just watch from the sidelines. Please click that membership button and become a member of the 2% Club today. That's right, we need just 2% of our subscribers to become channel members. For just $4.99 a month, that's less than 20 cents a day, you'll help us keep creating powerful content that defends our democracy, demands justice, and develops a strong African-American community. But if you want more, at $9.99 a month, which is only 33 cents a day, you'll get access to exclusive members-only live streams, bonus content, and behind-the-scenes updates. And for just $14.99 a month, which is under 50 cents a day, our top-tier members get access to live Zone calls, strategy sessions, and a direct voice in shaping this movement. We're not just building a YouTube channel. Folks, we're building a movement based on righteousness and justice, just what our community needs in a time of disinformation and division. So if you believe in what we're doing, click the membership button and join now. Become a member of the 2% Club today. Let's build something powerful together. And then he followed it up by saying, a lot of black people are asking me to come in and fix the problem. So that right there told you that Trump was going to go after black men. And we already knew that before he said it anyway, because Trump doesn't like black people. Now, you can be naive about that, but if you got a half a brain, you should know that already. And we know that not by the things that he says, like I did a video yesterday where Trump said, I love black people. No, we know that because of the things he has done, not what he has said. I know the things as a civil rights attorney. I know what he did in his first administration. I know how he treated the first black president when he put out there, or he continued to further this idea that Obama was not a legitimate citizen. Therefore, his presidency was not legitimate. All right. I know his history all the way back to the 70s. So I knew how he was going to behave once he took power again. It is these young brothers that need the education. These young brothers who's in the streets before the election wearing MAGA hats, talking about Trump I love the way he speak his mind. I love the way he speak his mind and identifying with him because he had a mugshot. And saying he understand how we feel as black men because the criminal justice system is unjust toward us too. Comparing themselves with a rich, white dude who has shown himself time and time again as someone who's not a friend of the African-American community. Of course, he got these rappers and entertainers and athletes who will swear that he doesn't have a racist bone in his body. How naive those folks are. But anyway, he's coming now, and he's taking his Trump show on the road, not just to D.C., but around the country. Now, I'm going to take you to a story in CNN. It's called, the name of this is, It's a Real Mess. D.C. courts buckling as Trump's crime crackdown brings the deluge of new cases. So they are locking up black men left and right in D.C. And again, he says that he's going to Chicago. He wants to go to Baltimore. Every big city that's run by a black mayor that's Democrat, he wants to go in. All right, let's read some of this article. President Donald Trump's plan to combat crime in D.C. with more federal forces led to a deluge of cases flooding already maxed out courts in the city. I know all about that as a practicing criminal defense civil rights attorney, how the courts and the jails and all can get filled quite often with primarily young black men. And that's exactly what's happening here. The D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office, I want you to watch this, led by former Fox News anchor Janine Pirro, has encouraged its prosecutors to bring more cases to federal court, watch this, with the most serious charges they can pursue. So they're not just locking up brothers. They're locking up brothers with the intention of putting those brothers away for a long time. The very man that these young black men swore by, the same man that these young brothers disrespected Kamala because of her prosecutorial history. Well, now you're really getting it. You're really getting it now. And she would not have done this. You didn't study Kamala's prosecutorial history. You didn't read her books like I did. And she actually came up with something called Smart on Crime. She literally came up with something that she calls Smart on Crime and wrote about it in her book. In fact, that is the title of her book. So out there cursing this black woman for this guy who is leading a white supremacist movement, okay, MAGA and Project 2025. And now he's doing precisely what I told you he would. So they're bringing the most serious charges they can pursue. Defense attorneys across the city believe weaker cases are now being brought into the system as smaller infractions are bumped up to more serious charges. So not only are they charging them with the most serious crimes, but then they could come in with some simple misdemeanor and they're bumping those up. The guy that almost 2 million black people voted for. Yes, the guy whose support with young black men went from 8% in 2016, 13% in 2020, and between 21 and 25% in 2024, they voted for this. And these are the consequences, because what's the old saying? Elections have consequences. Let's keep reading. Prosecutors in Washington have also been instructed to push for more people to remain behind bars before their case is heard in court, despite a long-standing approach of courts keeping people accused of nonviolent or petty crimes out of jail unless they're convicted. That's right. That's how we do it here in Dallas. If someone is locked up for a nonviolent crime, we typically can get them out pretty quickly. Right? It's a nonviolent crime. And so why hold them at taxpayers' expense? But these folks have such a fever to go after black men. They're charging them with the most serious offenses. They're bumping up minor charges to as serious as they can get and justify. And they're intent on holding them in jail for a longer period of time. You see, Trump wouldn't even be in office right now if it wasn't for these young brothers between the ages of about 18 to 27 who voted for Trump. Why did they do so? Well, there's a myriad of reasons, but one of the top reasons is they listen to a lot of the disinformation that is on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. Disinformation like voting doesn't matter. The Democrats are as bad as the Republicans. Voting hasn't gotten anything for blacks in 80 years. Voting doesn't work anymore. All that dumb stuff. Now this is the price. These are the consequences. And there are 3.5 more years. And already the pro-black imposters are already telling you, when the midterms come around, don't vote again. Let Trump continue to target you. Why don't you just use your heads? Just think. Just think a minute. Just think about it. Just think, okay, I listened to you last time I didn't vote or I voted for Trump. And now he's coming at me and at my boys. And you should say, well, that didn't work. I'm not doing that again. In fact, I'm not listening to those people anymore. I mean, that's just some common sense. But you know how I know some of you are still going to listen to these pro-black imposters? Because now the pro-black imposters are trying to sound like they are outraged at what Trump is doing in D.C. and is planning to do around the country. So they're making videos now. Why is Trump doing this? Why is Trump doing that? Why is he targeting black men? As if they had nothing to do with him getting elected in the first place. As if they are actually concerned about you. And some of you fall for that. Some of you know that they were out here capping for Trump. Some of you know that they were out here trying to get you not to vote, and you followed them. And now they're acting like what Trump is doing is so surprising to them. Just shaking my head. Anyway, this says, overall, Trump's federal takeover of D.C. law enforcement is straining the city's jail, federal court, and its local superior court, which is already down 13 judges, vacancies the president is in charge of filling because of Washington's status as the seat of the federal government. So they're locking up so many black people, and mostly black men, I can assure you, that it's overcrowding the justice system in D.C. And he would not be in this situation. Trump would not be in power right now, would not be the president, had it not been for the votes of young black and Latino men. He said it. He thanked you. He said, thank you. At his inauguration, he said, thank you to the young black men and Latino men. Thank you. It's mind-blowing on one hand and extremely, extremely disappointing on the other hand. And you hear the passion in my voice. You hear the emotions in my voice. You know why you hear that? Because I care for you. I was you. I was a high school dropout. I was on my way to prison. But the grace of God spared me. And I became a minister of the gospel. And I became an attorney. But I was you at 16, 17, 18, 19. I was you. And now I represent you in court. And I fight hard for you. I try my best to keep you from becoming felons. Go to the Dallas County Courthouse and ask anyone who knows me. I fight for young black men. And then to see you turn around and listen to these pro-black imposters and vote for this man who everyone knew who had just an ounce of common sense that he would do this. Because he said it, and Project 2025 said it. So yes, that's why you hear the passion and the emotions in my voice. I hate to see this happen to you. You are our future. You're the future generation of young blacks. I hate this for you and for our community. I don't want to see one of you being led off to prison. I don't want to see any of you being tagged a felon. I know what that's all about. I literally have represented, I don't have an exact count, but it's been 18 years for me that I've been doing this. So I've represented hundreds, if not thousands, of young black men from the age of about 11 years old up to 60, 70. And every time I represent one of you, I can't help but to think about where I could be. And so I fight hard. My firm fights hard to keep you from becoming convicted felons. I just did a video on Trump wanting the death penalty in D.C. Go watch that video. I'm just sad to see this happen. A little bit more from this article. In a detention hearing at federal court on Tuesday, Magistrate Judge Zia Faruqui, I think her name is pronounced, addressed the surge of prosecutions. Faruqui admonished the Department of Corrections for keeping a woman locked up for nearly 24 hours despite her order releasing her, and has noted how the Trump-backed crackdown is exacerbating existing issues with the D.C. jail. The systems in place are not keeping up with the volume coming in, Faruqui said in a different hearing Tuesday. Who do you think all those people are that are coming into the D.C. jail? They're black men primarily. Is this what you voted for? Is this what you thought would happen? Did anybody tell you this is what would happen? If not, you were listening to the wrong people. Because I told my audience this would happen. And I'm sure some of them will attest to that in the comments. I told you. You can redeem yourself. And you can stop this from happening if, come November 2026, you vote in opposition to Trump and every one of his MAGA followers, every senator, every House of Representative members, every one who's in the Republican Party, You got to vote against them because they are permitting him to do just this to you, to us, to our community. So you can redeem yourself. All right. Just know that I keep harping on this because I hate to see this happen to you, to our community. All right, I'm Reverend. You hear that? I'm not just a lawyer. I am a reverend. I am a pastor. I am a minister. I pastor young men, young black men. I have eulogized young black men. I was a teacher. I have taught young black men. I wrote a book to empower young black men. I want the best for you. Thought I had one of my books here that I could show you, but I don't. But I'm true to this. I'm not new to this. All right, again, I'm Reverend and Civil Rights Attorney Augustus Corbett. Thank you. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something, brothers. And remember, stay woke.